Imagine coming home after a brutal day, expecting nothing more than a quiet night with your wife, only to walk into your own bedroom and see her tangled up with the guy next door. Right there, in the sheets you paid for. That's the nightmare I lived through, and trust me, it's burned into my brain like a scene from some twisted movie I can't unsee. My name's Jake, and this is how my world flipped upside down in a single moment. I'm not here to bore you with the happy days. Those are long gone. This is about the betrayal that hit me like a freight train, and the words she said after that left me questioning everything I thought I knew. It was a Thursday just past 6 in the evening. I'd been grinding at the office, pushing through endless meetings, all so I could keep our life afloat. Nice house, decent car, the works. My wife, Lauren, texted me earlier that she'd be home all day, maybe cooking something special. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? 8 years of marriage, 2 vacations a year, and a promise to always have each other's backs. I thought we were solid. So when I pulled into the driveway, I was actually smiling, thinking about her laugh, her hazel eyes, the way she'd tease me about my terrible cooking. I had no clue I was about to walk into a war zone. The house was quiet when I stepped inside. Too quiet. No TV humming, no clatter of pots from the kitchen. Just this eerie stillness that made my chest tighten. I called out, "Lauren? You here?" No answer. My keys hit the counter, and I kicked off my shoes, figuring she might be napping. Then I heard it. A low murmur, like voices trying to stay hidden, coming from upstairs. My heart started pounding, this heavy thud in my chest, like it knew something my brain hadn't caught up to yet. I took the stairs 2 at a time, not even thinking, just moving toward the sound. Our bedroom door was cracked open, just enough for me to peek through before I pushed it wide. And there they were, Lauren, my wife, and Tyler, the guy from next door, sprawled across our bed like they owned it. Sheets twisted around them, her hair a mess, his shirt half off. It was a punch to my soul. I froze, my breath caught in my throat, every nerve screaming at me to do something. Anything. Tyler saw me first, his eyes widening like a deer in headlights, and he scrambled to the edge of the bed, muttering, "Jake? Man, this isn't..." But I didn't hear the rest. Lauren turned, her face going pale, and for a split second, I saw guilt flash across it. Then she opened her mouth, and everything changed. "Jake, wait!" she yelled, pulling the blanket up like it could shield her from what I'd just seen. I was shaking, fists clenched, ready to tear into Tyler, but her voice stopped me cold. "This isn't what you think," she said, her tone desperate, almost convincing. I laughed. A sharp, bitter sound I didn't even recognize as mine. "Not what I think. Are you kidding me, Lauren? I'm standing right here." Tyler was already halfway out the door, mumbling apologies, but I didn't care about him. My eyes were locked on her, waiting for the excuse, the lie, anything to make this make sense. And then she said it. 7 words that hit me harder than the sight of them together. "I did this to save us, Jake." Save us? What the hell was that supposed to mean? My mind was racing, anger boiling over, but now there was this seed of confusion sprouting, choking me up. She wasn't crying, wasn't begging, just staring at me with this weird mix of defiance and fear, like she'd planned this moment. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my voice cracked when I finally spoke. "Save us? From what? What are you talking about?" She took a deep breath, and I could tell whatever came next was going to twist the knife even deeper. I wasn't ready for it. Not even close. Picture this. You've just caught your wife with another man, and instead of tears or apologies, she hits you with a line so wild it feels like a slap across the face. That's where I was, frozen in my own bedroom, Lauren's voice slicing through the silence. "I did this to save us, Jake." Save us? My mind was a tornado, spinning with fury and confusion, and my heart was pounding like it wanted to break free and run. "I'm Jake, and if you think the sight of her with Tyler, the neighbor, was the worst of it, you're dead wrong." What she said next didn't just break me. It made me question everything I'd ever believed about her. I took a step closer, my fists clenched so tight my knuckles ached. "Save us," I spat, my voice raw and trembling. Lauren, you're tangled up in our sheets with the guy next door. What could possibly make that okay? She didn't flinch, didn't look away, just sat there, clutching the blanket like it was armor, her hazel eyes boring into mine. You don't understand, Jake, she said, her tone eerily calm, like she'd practiced this moment 100 times. I had to. It's bigger than us. Bigger than us? The words hit me like a brick, and my chest burned with this hot, suffocating pressure I couldn't shake. Then explain it, I snapped. Because right now, all I see is my wife stabbing me in the back. She shifted on the bed, pulling the blanket tighter, and for a second, I saw something flicker in her face. Fear, maybe, or regret. It's about money, she said finally, her voice dropping low. We were drowning, Jake. You didn't know how bad it got. Money? My head spun, trying to connect the dots. Yeah, things had been tight. Overtime at work, bills piling up, but drowning? I'd been busting my back to keep us afloat, and she knew that. What are you talking about? I demanded, stepping closer, my shadow falling over her. We're fine. I've got it handled. She shook her head, a bitter laugh escaping her lips. No, you don't. You didn't see the letters, the threats. I hid them from you. Threats? My pulse raced, a cold sweat prickling down my spine. What letters? What threats? I was shouting now, couldn't stop myself, the room closing in around me. She sighed, like I was the one being unreasonable, and reached for her phone on the nightstand. Debt collectors, she said, scrolling through something I couldn't see. We owe thousands, tens of thousands. Credit cards, loans I took out when you lost that promotion last year. They were going to take the house, Jake. Everything. I stared at her, my breath shallow, the anger mixing with this sick, sinking feeling. And Tyler fits into this how? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Her eyes flicked up to mine, and there it was again, that defiance, sharp and unyielding. He's not just the neighbor, she said. He works for them, the collectors. He offered me a way out. A way out? My brain scrambled to process it, every word twisting the knife deeper. What way out? I pressed, my hands shaking now. She hesitated, just long enough to make my blood run cold, then dropped the bomb. He said if I gave him what he wanted, he'd make the debt disappear. One night, Jake. One night to save everything we've built. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The room spun, her face blurring in front of me. You slept with him to pay off a debt? I choked out, my voice cracking. You think that saves us? She leaned forward, desperation creeping into her tone. I didn't want you to lose it all because of me. I couldn't tell you. I knew you'd hate me. Hate her? I was beyond hate, beyond anything I could name. And then she whispered, but that's not the worst part. And my whole world tilted again, waiting for whatever she was about to confess next. Have you ever felt your life unraveling thread by thread, each one snapping louder than the last? That's what it was like standing there, Lauren's words crashing over me like a tidal wave. That's not the worst part. My name's Jake, and I'd already been hit with the sight of my wife with Tyler, our neighbor, in our bed. Then her insane claim she did it to save us from debt. But now she was dangling something darker, and my heart was racing so fast I could feel it in my throat. The air was heavy, her hazel eyes locked on mine, and I knew whatever came next was going to shatter me all over again. I stared at her, my voice barely holding together. What do you mean, not the worst part? What could possibly be worse than this? She sat there on our bed, the same bed where I just caught her, still gripping that blanket like it could protect her from the storm she'd unleashed. Jake, she said, her tone shifting, softer now, almost pleading. You have to listen. It's not just about the money. My chest tightened, this burning ache spreading through me, and I couldn't tell if I was more furious or terrified. Then what is it? I snapped, stepping closer, my shadow looming over her. Stop stalling and tell me. She took a shaky breath, her fingers trembling as she set her phone down. Tyler didn't just offer to erase the debt, she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. He knows things. About you. About us. My head jerked back, a cold chill racing down my spine. What things? I demanded, my fists clenching again, nails digging into my palms. She hesitated, her eyes darting away for the first time, and that scared me more than anything. Stuff from your past, she said finally. Stuff you never told me. He said if I didn't go along with it, he'd ruin you, ruin us both. My past? My mind reeled, scrambling through memories, trying to figure out what she meant. I'd always been straight with Lauren, or so I thought. Sure, I had some rough patches before we met, a few dumb choices in my 20s, but nothing worth this. What's he got on me? I asked, my voice hoarse, barely recognizing it. She swallowed hard, then looked up at me, her expression a mix of guilt and something sharper. Anger, maybe. He wouldn't tell me everything, she said. Just that it's big. Something about your old job before we moved here. He said he has proof, Jake, documents, emails, stuff that could send you to jail. Jail? The words slammed into me, and my knees nearly buckled. My old job. I'd worked at a logistics company years ago, pushing shipments, cutting corners sometimes to meet deadlines. It wasn't clean, but I'd left that behind, started fresh. Or so I thought. That's insane, I said, shaking my head, my breath coming in short, ragged bursts. There's nothing he could have. He's bluffing. But Lauren's face told me she didn't believe that. He showed me one email, she said quietly. It had your name on it, Jake. Something about missing inventory, a lot of it. He said it's enough to bury you. I couldn't process it. My brain was a mess, anger and panic colliding. So you slept with him because he blackmailed you? I shouted, my voice echoing off the walls. You didn't think to tell me? She flinched, but her jaw tightened. I tried to protect you, she fired back. You were so stressed already. I didn't want you to break. Protect me? This wasn't protection. This was betrayal dressed up as a favor. I turned away, pacing the room, my hands raking through my hair. And you trusted him? I asked, spinning back to face her. You think he'll just let this go? That's when her face changed, pale, haunted, like she'd seen a ghost. No, she whispered, almost to herself. He won't. He's coming back tomorrow, Jake. He said this was just the beginning. The beginning? My blood ran cold, and the room felt smaller, the walls pressing in. Whatever Tyler had on me, whatever game he was playing, it wasn't over, and Lauren had just dragged us both deeper into it. Ever wonder how far someone will go when they're cornered? How deep the lies can cut before the truth bleeds out? That's where I landed. Trapped in my own house, Lauren's last words ringing in my ears. He's coming back tomorrow, Jake. This was just the beginning. I'm Jake, and I'd already survived catching my wife with Tyler, our neighbor, then her gut-punching excuse about debts and blackmail from my past. But now, knowing he wasn't done with us, my heart was racing, a wild drumbeat of dread and fury. This wasn't just betrayal, it was a trap, and I had one night to figure out how to claw my way out. I couldn't look at her anymore. Lauren sitting there, still on our bed, her excuses piling up like wreckage. You let him in, I said, my voice low and jagged, cutting through the silence. You brought this into our home. She stood up, the blanket falling away, her eyes flashing with something fierce. I told you, Jake. I did it for us. You think I wanted this? Her voice cracked, but I was past caring. You didn't do it for us? I shot back, stepping closer, my hands shaking. You did it for you, and now he's got us both by the throat. She froze, her breath hitching, and I saw it. Real fear, not just guilt. What are we going to do? She whispered. Do? My mind was a war zone, battling between confronting Tyler and running from whatever he had on me. That email she'd mentioned, my old job, missing inventory, it was real. I'd skimmed a few shipments back then, covered my tracks, or so I'd thought. If Tyler had proof, I was screwed. We're not doing anything? I said, turning away, my chest burning with this hot, relentless pressure. I'm handling it. I grabbed my phone and stormed downstairs, her voice trailing after me. Jake, wait! But I didn't stop. I needed answers, not more of her half-truths. By midnight, I dug through every old email I could find, every file from that job. Nothing concrete, but enough to know Tyler wasn't bluffing. He'd have to have inside info to even know where to look. Then it hit me, Lauren's phone. She'd said he showed her something. I crept back upstairs. She was asleep, or pretending to be, and snatched it from the nightstand. Passcode was her birthday, same as always. My hands trembled as I scrolled her texts. And there it was, a message from T. Tell him it's about the warehouse, 2017. He'll crack. Below it, a blurry photo of a document with my signature. My blood turned to ice. He had it. He had me. Morning came fast, too fast. I hadn't slept, just sat there, staring at that screen, plotting. When Lauren woke up, I didn't give her time to talk. He's coming today, I said, my voice flat. You're not staying here. She blinked, confused. What? Jake, we need to. No. I cut her off. You go to your sister's. I'm ending this. She protested, but I was done listening. After she left, I waited, every nerve on edge. Then, right on cue, Tyler's truck rolled up. He stepped out, smirking like he owned the place, and knocked. I opened the door, fists ready, but he spoke first. Let's make this easy, Jake. I've got copies. Pay me or they go public. That's when I snapped. You think you can blackmail me in my own house? I roared, grabbing his collar, shoving him back. His smirk faltered, but he laughed. You're done, man. Lauren already gave me what I wanted. Something broke inside me. 8 years, trust, love, all ash. I let him go, my voice cold. Get out. You'll get nothing. He shrugged, backing off, but his last words lingered. Check your mailbox tomorrow. And just like that, he was gone. I stood there, alone, the weight of it all crashing down. Lauren's choice, my past. It didn't matter who was right anymore. It was over. Hey, if you made it this far, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment. What would you do if your past came knocking like that? Let me know below.